Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Cospod 003. My name is Darlena Marie and my partner is.
Miss Perry.
I want to thank you all for being here. This is our third Cospod, and we had a busy May. We had a ship's commissioning, we had AAPI, memorial service to pay tribute to the fallen troops. And we wanted to take a little time to celebrate our women warriors from the Federation who have also stood up against tyranny and some made the ultimate sacrifice. And we wanted to share these ladies' stories with you because they're very impactful. Particularly during my service in the military, I found a lot of Star Trek women characters to be of great inspiration, from Kira to Dax to Tasha Yar, just wonderful women to gain and pull strength from while I was serving. And it's also just a testimony to those who put on the uniform and they know what comes with that uniform, as we have heard said time and time and again throughout various episodes in Star Trek. People who put on that uniform, they know the risks and they know what comes with that. And they're willing to, deal with that and
Accept it.
handle that and accept it and do what they have to do. So this is just how it is when you decide to serve as military or police or firefighter. you know, um, you take that risk and you know what can come with the job and you know what sometimes sacrifice you may have to make. That's particularly when it comes to saving the lives of others and standing up for what you believe. So we're going to share our thoughts and feelings about some of these wonderful Starfleet women officers. And we pay tribute to all the Starfleet officers and even enlisted and civilian
Yes.
who stood up against different enemies that the Federation faced to protect Earth, to protect the Federation. But these particular women warriors, we want to really pay tribute to for this memorial tribute. And you have something you want to say?
Yes, I also want to add that these women not only stood up for what they believed in, they stood up in the service of others to defend those who couldn't defend themselves and their principles. And they
Yes.
stayed strong with that. Again, some of them made the ultimate sacrifice with their lives in, fighting and protecting what they believe in and others. So they definitely deserve to be on this list. And we hope you enjoy.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna get our little video going here. It's called Service, Sacrifice, and Duty. Okay, so we're gonna set everything up and let's get to talking. As soon as this goes off the screen. Okay, service, sacrifice, and duty. So our first hero that we want to pay tribute to is the wonderful Jadzia Dax. Woohoo! Yes, yes. We love Jadzia. When she came on, oh, I was so impressed with this character from day one. Her strength, her intelligence, her zest and zeal for life. I love how she was smart and she wasn't afraid to stand up for what needed to be done. And when the Dominion War came up on DS9, she, was ready to do what she had to do. She has several lifetimes of experience. I think she has 7 lifetimes. So she was a great benefit to the crew as an engineer, a scientist, a friend, and of course, a lover to wonderful Worf. Became good friends with Kira. Kira also being a mighty warrior, fighting for freedom for her people. And her friendship with Dax was really great because, Dax comes from, a life where she wasn't involved in war, but, she eventually had to with the war with the Dominion. And then, of course, we know that she was killed by Gul Dukat. Another warrior, I know most people may not think of this, but Keiko, I looked at her as a warrior because remember when they bombed her school because they didn't believe that she was, teaching in a way that respected the prophets. So, you have that. You have during war, children get caught up in that and schools get bombed and everything. But I love how Keiko stood up to that and she remained, steadfast in her beliefs and she helped keep the children safe and calm.
Respect to the educators.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. And here we have Ziel, of course, Goldicart's daughter, who she helped to free Nana, Akira, and the others when they were trying to blow up the mines that was going to bring the enemy into DS9. And she got killed by Ducat's assistant, Damar, when he found out that she had helped to break them free. So
Mhm.
again, we have civilians that stand up for what's right and sometimes lose their lives, in the midst of war and everything. This episode, Lower Decks with Cito here, good friends with Worf. She kind of was his like apprentice, and he was her mentor. Bajoran, it was a Cardassian who switched sides and was feeding information to the Federation, and she pretended to be a Bajoran prisoner on his ship when he tried to get back to Cardassia. They thought that would be a good cover for him, and she was to help him get home, and then she was to come back, but unfortunately she got killed in the process. This is her with her friends. And here's Kayla. You want to talk about Kayla a little?
Yes, Kaylar, amazing. I just kudos to the actress as well. 'Cause she played several leading women, and she really shined in this role, being part human.
Mm-hmm.
She really kept under control the anger that came with her other half, but she
Mm-hmm.
also used that strength
Mm-hmm.
and her human side to help bring to the 24th century the
Mm-hmm.
sleeper ship that was found by
Mm-hmm.
the crew of Picards,
Yes.
and help them pretty much in their mind, they were still at war. She was
Mm-hmm.
able to quell that
Mm-hmm.
and bring them, to the 24th century and start a whole new life. And
Yeah.
even after that, she still served pregnant.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she found that there was, a traitor in the midst.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, it led to her death when
Yeah.
that was uncovered, as you
Yes.
see here in this picture with her mate Worf.
Yes. All right. Kayla, we'll give kudos to her. Tell about this next one here.
Oh, Natasha. Ugh, this
Yes.
girl was just fire from the beginning.
Yes.
She was always willing to throw herself on the sword, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
unnecessarily, but that just shows you the dedication.
Yes.
She was always like in the front lines
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
all the conflicts because
Yes.
she was going to get it done. She
Mm-hmm.
didn't sometimes without anyone's help. She just took it on her own, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure everyone is protected and safe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Again, another
Yes.
one of our wonderful women who sacrificed herself
Yes.
in service. But yeah, when they, you know what, we'll talk about the sidebar, how they brought her back.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
excellent
awesome.
character.
Yeah, Tasha Young, yeah. I really loved her character. I really respected her character. She she didn't have an easy life. She grew up rough, and she had some issues when she joined Starfleet, but she managed to overcome them. And that rough life kind of preconditioned her for her service in Starfleet. So when, like you said, when they encountered things, she was the one that was always out there. She wasn't afraid.
No sweat off her
Um,
brow.
no sweat of her brow. She was not going to back down. She was not going to be made afraid of. She wasn't afraid of anyone. And if she had any fear, she didn't show it. She didn't let it stop her. So Tasha was like my first, and I think she was one of the first women Star Trek characters to be portrayed in that kind of
Mhm.
sexy, tough kind of, mantra, that image. And I think that was really good. It was a good kickoff for the rest of the women characters that came from Next Gen and DS9 and then Voyager. So I was really appreciative. I was really sad when she died. That that slithering slush of
Sludge
nothing,
thing.
that sludge thing. I was so mad at that thing. I wanted to just drop fire on it for real. And and what touched me was when she came back. in the episode with the parallel ship.
Yeah.
Um, and that scene where she came into 10 forward and Guinan was looking at her and she was asking Guinan, why are you staring at me and everything like that? But what is it about me that makes you look at me this way? And she said, there was a film, familiarity there, and she
Mhm.
couldn't understand it. And then what bothered her was that Guinan let her know that you died in a previous universe and it was a senseless death. So that's what inspired her to stay with the parallel ship. And she wanted to, if she's going to die, wanted her death to have meaning. And that's another, kind of mindset that I saw a lot with the Starfleet officers that,
Mhm.
if they got to go out, they want to go out, with meaning and purpose,
Yes.
and that's what bothered me also about Jetsia's death because, she's in the temple praying, and then here you come up here killing somebody while in the temple praying. I mean, that's, this is a warrior. This woman is a warrior, and this is how she goes out. I did, a lot
That
of
was
people
so
didn't appreciate that.
disrespectful. Yeah.
Disrespectful. Oh my God. Just with a capital D. I mean, folks was mad at the writers. It was like, come on, writers, we know she was leaving the show, but y'all could have
Yeah.
taken her
Come
better
on
than that.
now.
Y'all could have did a little bit better than that.
Jadzia.
This is, come on. How's you going on Stovall Court till I was praying and I got jacked? Come on, that doesn't, that doesn't, that doesn't, and I think they knew a lot of fans didn't appreciate that. That's the reason why in that episode, where Worf went on a mission with the Klingons, um, and the old Klingon guy, instead of a younger person doing the mission where there was going to be no return, he decided to do it. He went ahead and went out there and sacrificed his life. And he told Worf that he was doing it for Jetsia to get her into Stovall Court because her death was
Mm.
not a warrior's death. Um, but then with the Klingon mindset, if somebody does something that's considered a warrior's death on behalf of that person, then that person's spirit gets to go to Stovall Court. So I appreciate that. And I think the writers wrote that in that way because they knew a lot of
Yeah, that
fans
was
didn't
gonna be
like the way
backlash. I
they
mean, it was still backlash, but little
exactly.
took a little heat off.
It took a little heat off. Exactly. And I like going back to Keiko again. I liked her. She's also our AAPI hero for AAPI month because a lot of people don't know. I know teachers and I know how teachers were sharing with me like during 9/11 how they really had to work hard to keep the kids calm and at peace and to feel safe. And I was even invited to come talk to my girlfriend. She's a teacher. She invited me to come speak to the class, and I was in military uniform and everything. And I share with them like what the military does and how we're gonna, do our best to protect the city and everything like that. Because just a few months after 9/11, and so I really respected Keiko when they bombed Keiko's school. Um, I thought that was pretty low down and dirty, to bomb a school like that on the space station, and because it could have done more damage than imaginable,
Hmm.
and the fact that the next day she went back and started teaching, I was like,
Go girl. That's right.
you go, girl. You have got to love that type of tenacity. You've got to respect that. And she's a teacher. She's not, trained Starfleet officer, warrior, nothing, but that warrior spirit, it just came out because, she was like, look, this is my school and these children are under my care and I'm going to teach them what I know is right. And she wasn't teaching any religion or philosophy, but they just felt that she was teaching evil and they're just going to bomb her school thinking that was going to stop. That's the thing in war. People think if I bomb your school, if I tear down your buildings, that's going to stop you from fighting for what's right. But it doesn't. It doesn't. It makes a tenacious person even more tenacious, and it makes them even more powerful in their soul and spirit to want to
Hmm.
continue
You
to
just
fight.
fueled the fire.
You just feel the fire. Exactly. It just feel the fire. And that's one of the things I love about Star Trek is that it teaches that um to his fans, and then as a young person growing up watching Star Trek, that's one of the things that my parents will always say to me, it's like, you see how they stay strong, you see how they stand up for what they believe in, and they won't back down. And I was always taught, you be that way, you be that way. Talk
Mhm.
about everything you want to learn in life, you learn from Star Trek.
Hey, you can.
You
You
can.
can. They cover the whole gambit.
They do.
A
They
lot of
do.
people in politics can learn a lot.
Lord, this is true. This is true. They just need to play some episodes at the White House and the Senate.
That should be part of the mandatory, you know,
Training to be
yeah,
politicians.
training. Jeez. I mean, everything
Also true.
plays out. History repeats itself. And if you
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen everything from the rooter to the tutor when it comes to Star Trek,
Yes.
something's wrong with you because I don't know how could you miss it.
Yes. Yes.
It's blaring at you.
Exactly.
It's everything we're experiencing even now
Mm-hmm.
has already been written, and now
Yes.
you get to see it in video in the
Exactly.
future.
Exactly. And if you have like issues that you can't figure out what to do as a politician or what to say, I'm pretty sure there's a Star Trek episode you can pull up and learn from that. Okay.
Yes, take
Just
notes.
do what Starfleet does. Okay. You don't even have to think about it. Just mimic.
No reinventing the wheel here.
Yes. Yes. And then, you can do a good job of being the type of leader you're supposed to be. So, all these episodes. And then again with Cito, Lower Decks again. Those of you who have not seen that episode, please see that episode. Lower Decks is so sweet. So, it starts off talking about, these officers, they're friends, they've been friends for a while. They're all up for the same kind of promotion and they're wondering who's going to get it. And then, a little spoiler alert, she's up for the same promotion as this other officer friend of hers. And then she gets selected for this mission and she goes on this undercover mission and doesn't come back. So then the promotion goes to the other guy, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I deserve it. I don't want to get it this way." But that's another thing in the military. Sometimes we can be up for promotions, and if another, soldier, sailor, airman, marine, or coast guardman is injured, the promotion can go to you, but you feel guilty about it. So, but that's
Right.
that's part of the service. And all through history, all through America's wars, from the Civil War on down, particularly the Civil War, there was a lot of people who did these undercover missions, and they would pretend to be captive, or they were pretend, I know, like during the Civil War, some folks would pretend to be Confederate that were really in the Northern Army to try to get information and then bring it back to the North and the Union Army. And sometimes they lived and sometimes they were caught. So that's what I really respected about the Lower Decks episode, because it talked about that form of sacrifice where you're willing to go undercover and to do a job to benefit your side, and you get caught, and and that's it, and you perish. Again, standing up for what you believe, because that's you're fighting face to face is one thing, but then to go undercover is and I think about like police officers that I know, detectives I know that has gone undercover. It's a really scary thing, because you have to balance two lives, and one is real, the other one is a lie, but you have to make the lie life like it's really real, so in hopes you don't get busted. So that's a scary kind of job.
Mm.
I can't even balance my one life, let alone me trying to pretend to be somebody else.
Two consciences.
Exactly. So you got two families, two places you were born and raised, two schools you went to. You're gonna try to remember all that. So I give it to all the undercover folks out there in the house, and whether it's police or CIA, FBI, military. I give it to you guys. So yeah, we had some really good choices.
I
And I
have to
think
give it up to
also,
the teachers too, because they have to
yes.
drop, their personal as soon as they leave the door from home,
Hmm.
and it's like all about the kids, all about
Hmm.
school. It's
Hmm.
like I know many teachers, and
Hmm.
sometimes just they're human. You come to
Hmm.
work, you just not feeling good, but
Yes.
you doing your best to give the kids what they need,
Yes.
to be productive members of society,
Hmm.
to inspire them, to make sure that they're energized with, the want to learn, have courage. I mean, we need more teachers like Keiko also.
Yes.
We're
Yes, we
gonna
do.
show children that, you know what, how that's something just to a child to see that a teacher had their school blown up,
Mm-hmm.
but she still has this passion to
Mm-hmm.
give knowledge and time to kids that are not even hers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That says so much.
It does. It does. That's what when I was talking with my friends and I was saying, I'm going to include Keiko in this. They were like, Keiko, what did she do? And I'm like, okay, wait a minute, guys. You can be a warrior out of uniform too. Not every warrior has to wear uniform, and you've got to give it to Keiko. Then when I explained it, like how we're saying today, they were like, "Oh my God, you're right. That's so true. That was something to have your school bomb and then come back the next day and still teach and still show love and care for the children." And then no one really thought, like DS9 fans a lot don't think about this war on the space station, how it impacts the children. And
Yeah.
she did a lot to keep those kids together and comforted. And then we have to just give it to her. She was like the only teacher on the space station. And for all those children, different cultures and everything like that. And then like when the space station was taken over by the Cardassians again, you know, my God, I can only imagine what stress that was on the children, particularly the Bajoran children. So, and again, Keiko's there trying to balance things and everything. And so yeah, you got to give teachers a lot of credit who teach and try to keep children comforted during wartime. Um, and that's a mighty, mighty important job. We always think about, the warriors, we think about the medical people, but we forget that the teachers, they are also battling the war in their own way. And so that's why I just had to include Keiko in this tribute. Yes, yeah. All right, so let's see. Now we're going to talk about what we got coming up. So again, let's also just want to say again, the ship's commissioning was great. It was by the Hudson River Park by the USS Intrepid, and that was a great place. We had a lot of fun memories there with our ship's namesake, Gerard. We went to visit the Enterprise. We did lots of screenings on the flight deck. When they were showing Star Trek movies on the flight deck, we had the whole meetup crew there. So that was a perfect place for the ship's commissioning, and his family was there, and we gave his family the ship's certificate, and we had the admiral from Quadrant 1 there, and we had folks on Zoom. So this was great because we had it live and Zoom at
Live.
the same time. So we had a really great Zoom audience, and it was just really nice. And then afterwards we went to the Playwright Bar for some continued celebration and blood wine and all that good stuff. So that was really
Huzzah.
great. Yes. And our AAPI event was wonderful. And we had some really great events for the different cultural celebrations. So February we had the weekend con Black Excellence, and then we had the panel we did for Women's International Month, and then we had the screening for AAPI. So we screened 3 really great Asian-led episodes, and we had a video where George Takei was sharing his experiences as a Japanese American, and we had an Asian member of our group was the host for that day's event. So wonderful, wonderful activities we've been doing since the ship has been commissioned. And we have a lot of support from the meetup, from the Starbase, from other people. Just really great. Um, so we have coming up some stuff for June. Later on in June, we're going to be doing another Cospod. And then July, we have some charity stuff we're going to be doing. And when we go to Vegas,
Woo, woo,
woo,
woo.
hoo, hoo, when we go to Vegas, we're going to be doing some live stuff there so you guys can take a peek at what's going on inside of Vegas. And I'm definitely ready for that. This will be your first time going to Vegas. Tell everybody how
Yes, it
excited you
will
are.
be. I am very excited. I'm taking the family. We're making a little trip of it. After all this being stuck in the house, it's heaven sent. And it's so much more exciting because, we get to throw in the cosplay with it. I'm super excited to see everyone in person and cosplay. It's been a while. I'm very excited to see what happens. with the Trek crew in Vegas.
Yes,
But
yes.
I'm not going to tell you guys about it because what happened in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah. Just like what happens on the holodeck stays in the holodeck. Yes. What happens in Vegas? Shh, stays in Vegas. But yeah, it's going to be very exciting. We got, oh my God, at least 10 people going from New York alone, from our crew. So that's going to be really nice. We got some group cosplays planned and everything like that. And we're going to be hanging out with our buddies from the Seventh Rule, Ciroc Lofton and Ryan T. Huston. It was Ryan's birthday Thursday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Ryan.
birthday, Ryan.
So we're going to be running into those guys. And then my Star Trek unofficial convention crew Facebook group. Tons of folks going to be from that group there, so I'm looking forward to seeing them. And my folks that live in California, Arizona, coming down. I have some folks that's coming from other countries, so it's just amazing. We weren't there last year. We missed each other. We were all boohooing and posting pictures from the Vegas 2019. So we're looking forward to definitely making up for lost time. Definitely. So anyway, that seems to be the end of our Cospod. I know it's kind of short, but we're going to do a much longer Cospod coming up because we're going to have invited guests. And we're going to talk about something really interesting. As always, we cannot share it with you. It's going to be a surprise, but you're going to love it. Any last parting words, my partner?
Everyone stay safe. Remember to just give a little moment of silence and prayer for all those that we have lost, all those who are still serving, and lead by example. Always take these examples we gave you, as well as those you know of, just to have an idea of what a leader is and what it means, not only, in sacrifice, but in just standing up for what's right.
Yes, indeed. Stay strong, stay positive, always be willing to listen to the other side, learn from people. This is what Edict is about, learning from people, hearing about other people's experiences. This is how we, on a daily basis, can make our world, our community, a much better place to live in. So thank you. Thank you for your support. Stay safe. We love you, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.